Thanks for joining us for City Council Comments. I'm Steve Erickson along with Councilmember Pat Carlson. Today we're talking about both the November 3rd and our November 16th City Council meeting. Thanks for coming in today.
It's my pleasure.
That's your first time here on Council Comments.
It's exciting.
I know you've been looking forward to this all year long.
I've been so excited, yes. Right, I'm so glad to be here, Steve.
So we're happy to have you, and we'll be talking about both our meetings here. Our first one was a day late due to the school election, and then we had our second meeting as normal. So let's jump right into things here, and we're going to start off talking about the November 16th council meeting. And one of the first items there was a proclamation declaring Small Business Saturday. It's the holiday shopping season coming up here.
Absolutely. Mayor Cook was throwing out a lot of statistics out there, but when it comes down to it, we need to support our local businesses, right? So November 27th, Small Business Saturday. Our small businesses do so much for our community to provide goods and jobs, and let's make sure that when we start doing our holiday shopping, we really take care of our local businesses.
Yeah, and obviously they were hurt last year by the pandemic, and that obviously continues this year as well. So getting out and supporting those small businesses, I think it was close to, I think it's about 47%, if I recall the statistic, as far as the number of people that are employed by small businesses or the private sector.
Absolutely.
So they're very important.
They sure are.
They serve an important role. And this year you might have to go to some of those smaller businesses with some of the merchandise shortages, across the country. So they are obviously another option to shop at, and they hope you do support them.
Absolutely. Let's support our small businesses. Yep.
All right. Moving forward, speaking of businesses, we have one here that's changing ownership. This is the Barrel House Bar and Cafe is what it's going to be called now. And this is otherwise known as P.D. Pappy's.
Right? Yeah, Pappy's. And BK Family Restaurant before then.
For all the people that have been here a long time.
Oh, I'll tell you. Great breakfast.
So they're changing ownership, and they're going to be called the Barrel House Bar and Cafe. They're located at 11496 Martin Street, and basically the council had to approve the Class A on sale Sunday 2 a.m. and tavern liquor license for the new owners.
Yeah, they added the bar a while back, and it was just the restaurant, and then a bar was added a couple of years ago, and so now we're good for the liquor license for the new bar.
All right, I'd say it sounds like the bar is going well because they're keeping the bar in the new business. All right.
Yep.
Moving forward, council considered a resolution approving a preliminary and final plat. This is for the new fire station number 3. We've been talking about this for a little bit now. They're still kind of in the planning process, but they're going to replace fire station 3, and they're going to put it in a new location, correct?
Yep, absolutely. And, fire station 3 is kind of worn out. It's been around for a long time, and I think it's darn near 50 years.
Yeah,
and it's leaky roof, and it's just time to move on. This new fire station is going to be real high tech, and it'll be an excellent training facility as well for our firefighters.
Yeah, and it's they'll have 3 different levels, the bays, like you said, the training is all in one, so they can do that basically 24/7, 365 days a year. It'll become their new sort of home for their not administrative, but the battalion chiefs or the people in charge of the shifts. And this will actually be located now at 11091 Mississippi Boulevard, kind of on the corner of 111th Avenue there, and Mississippi Boulevard, directly across from Anoka Ramsey Community College.
Right where the old Cook Arena was.
Yeah. That's a good locator. And it's also going to be where they shoot off the fireworks eventually on the 4th of July as well.
Yes.
From the roof, correct?
The roof will be built to handle that, yes.
So that'll be kind of cool because they've done it over in that area for a couple of years now in different spots, I believe. Some of those lower fireworks are harder to see when they're shooting them off from the ground.
Yes, there's the certain range that you have to be within. And so there was no legal and safe place to send the fireworks off from. Anoka Ramsey was wonderful in allowing the city to fire off fireworks from their property. However, it was low, and so you couldn't hardly see them. And it's quite an investment. And so this will stay in compliance with the regulations and also give people a great view of some beautiful fireworks.
Yeah, and for folks that don't know, it's one of our fire department members that actually shoots off those fireworks on the 4th of July. So again, new Fire Station 3, if all goes according to plan, going out for bids late this year. They'll award the bids early 2022. They hope to break ground next spring, and it'll take just over a year to complete the new station. All right.
It's exciting.
It is exciting,
Yeah.
and I can't believe the other one is already almost 50 years old when I read that. So,
It's just getting tired.
yeah, time for a
Yeah.
new one there. All right, moving forward, we had another preliminary and final plat that was approved by the council. This is for a Dollar General. We don't have one of these in town yet.
No.
That by my
No.
my research
No,
today.
I don't think so. No. No.
So they're coming here to Coon Rapids, correct?
Be a great location. Hanson Boulevard and Coon Rapids Boulevard would be a great location, and that land has just been sitting empty for years. So let's get some more business in there.
Yeah, it's hard to envision actually because you think that corner is pretty developed, but we're talking about like the southwest corner, kind of near where the animal hospital is,
Yep.
correct? That's a little further west.
East of the
And-
animal hospital.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
And
just
just
north of the
church.
Methodist Church. Yep.
Okay, so they're going to put a Dollar General if they get their way. This is the preliminary and final plat that were approved. They still need to get site plan approval from the Planning Commission, which sounds like that will happen maybe at the December meeting, is what we were told this
That
week.
sounds about right.
So, barring all that, I imagine they would be under construction next year.
Another business in Coon Rapids.
Yeah, good to see. Good to see. All right, that is all from our November 16th City Council meeting. We want to move back now to our first meeting of the month, and we actually welcomed a new member to the City Council at the first meeting this month.
Yes.
Talk about that.
Pablo Hernandez Jr. First of all, we had 5 kind of final candidates, and the candidates were all wonderful. But the council did choose Pablo Hernandez Jr. I've gotten to know Pablo. Pablo was one of my opponents last year.
Yeah.
Wonderful, great community council member.
Yep.
And Pablo will do really well.
Yes. So he's on the council now. He's attended 2 meetings now and sat up there. And the backstory on that, and for folks that weren't aware, is that Councilmember Wade Demmer, who represented Ward 3, moved out of his ward into a new home, still in Coon Rapids, but not in his ward. So he had to step down from his seat about a month or 2 ago.
Yes.
And then this seat became open. Council elected to appoint a replacement. So you opened an application process. People applied. Pablo Hernandez Jr. was picked ultimately following the interviews, and he will have the Ward 3 seat until the end of 2022, correct?
Yes,
That's
then
when
he'll-
it'll be on the ballot next fall.
Yes, exactly.
All right, well, welcome to him. All right, council approved a memorandum of understanding with the Anoka School District for police department support. This is, we're talking about the DARE program, correct? And the school liaison program, which I know is something that was near and dear to your heart.
Very near and dear to me. Yes, it does so much. It helps provide a level of safety and security in the schools. It gives, in both programs really, gives the kids a trusting adult that they can come to that can actually help them if they're having some serious problems at home. So many terrific relationships are built between the police and the students and the staff and the parents.
Yeah.
A lot of people, especially with the school resource officer, they're worried that it's just enforcement. That's actually a small part of it. It's collaboration. It's relationship building. It's so much more. And the DARE program is just wonderful. And I remember when the DARE program first started, we were under the instructions from our chief that, if this doesn't stop drugs in its tracks, we're not going to continue with it. And as the program developed, everyone learned that it was much more than that. Sure, there's an education component, but most of it is building relationships with kids in the community and taking away some of the mystique and the fears of police. And so it's just a wonderful program.
Like you said, that's probably the most important part of
is.
it is the relationship building. The liaison officer is somebody that they recognize, they can trust. It's another trusted adult they can go to if they have an issue or just need someone to talk to.
Over the years, I had a lot of young people that I worked with call me when they were done with school and help me with this job application. What do you think about this? How do I handle this? And it was just a great relationship builder.
Yeah, so then you knew you were doing the right thing. All right. So we will continue those services. That's something that has to be approved, I imagine, on an annual basis or thereabouts.
Yeah, it's annual. Yep.
All right. Moving forward, Council considered a resolution awarding a contract for the Coon Rapids Ice Center mechanicals. This is some repair work that needs to be done at the Ice Center.
Yes, that refrigeration, to keep the ice on the,
Yes.
keep the ice out there, that kind of, wind kaput sooner than expected.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things. It wasn't covered by insurance, and it went sooner than expected, and so it needed to be done. And it's very expensive, but it had to be done. And in order for the city to fulfill their agreement, we have a temporary system at the ice arena, but that's very expensive. And so the sooner we can get that new system in, the better. Okay. We have so many commitments to so many groups at that ice arena. We have to get this fixed.
Yeah, and as we're getting the busy season here with hockey season, all of that, I imagine they'll want to get this done as quickly as possible. Sounds like that will happen here in the next couple of months.
Yeah, the sooner the better.
All right. And Council also basically amended the facility construction fund budget for the costs of the system.
Yes.
So there is a budget component as well. All right, moving forward, Council considered a preliminary plat and actually approved that. This is for a new townhome development at 12691 Hanson Boulevard. This is up by a church off of Hanson and 242, correct?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the name of the church escapes me, but it's a church kind of up on a hill on the corner of Hanson Boulevard and 127th. And behind the church had a very large tract of property, and more property than they needed, and they sold off their back half. And that's where the 12 townhomes are going in.
Okay, so this is 11, I think it's 11.
Or 11 townhomes?
I think the church counts as the one, so it's,
okay.
if I recall correctly. So there's going to be 11 townhomes as part of this,
yes.
Part of this development. And I know the neighbors had come in with some concerns about this development going in that location.
It's tough if you've been living there for a long time to now know that you'll have neighbors behind you. And I know that one concern was, losing some privacy. Right. There's some huge pine trees back there, and it's good to know that those pine trees will stay there just to help provide a little bit more privacy. And there's also some concerns about drainage that was pretty well addressed. Folks were worried, for good reason, that the water would drain back towards their properties, and they have it worked out. So it's going to, drain towards the front of the townhomes that they're putting in. So hopefully those concerns were addressed as best they could be. Yeah.
All right. So that is what we have from our November 3rd council meeting, and both our meetings for this this month. I wanted to maybe talk a little bit about how things are going with you. You've been on the council here. Yeah. This is your first year.
Yep.
So you've now been through, 11 months?
Yep, I'm still in my rookie year.
Yeah. What are you thinking so far of your time on the council?
Well, first of all, it's wonderful. I feel blessed to have been elected. Yeah. I'm humbled to be able to represent the citizens of the city. I'm doing what I want to do in that I'm representing people, and I'm advocating for the city. I'm doing everything I can to be the best cheerleader for the city I can be. I am also doing everything I can to advocate for our residents so that they know they have a voice, and to kind of bridge between the city and the residents. And so that's all great. That's all great. As far as the things that were important to me, I'm happy to be able to express myself on those issues that were very important to me, like public safety, infrastructure, things like that. Yeah. And so it's great. I'm humbled, and I'm very happy to be a council member here in Coon Rapids.
Yeah, and it takes a while to get up to speed. Obviously, you had some advantage, I think, working for the city. Folks didn't know you were a former police officer, detective with the Coon Rapids Police Department. So you kind of had the intricacies of City Hall, but there is a lot to take in as far as understanding language and all that other stuff that comes along with the territory of being a council member.
Absolutely, and that's where it's a learning process for me. Yeah. And so when some of these things come up, some of these approvals and such like, I'll look at it, and if my head's swimming, I'll look at it some more, or I'll call someone to make sure that I have a pretty decent understanding of it before I start voting.
Yes.
So people have been wonderful. The city staff have been just wonderful, answering my questions and such like when when I get a hold of them. So it's been great. It's still a learning process for a lot of these little things like that.
Yeah, it probably takes a good 1 to 2 years to
It-
get up on even acronyms and
Takes
what
a
all
little
this
time.
stuff means.
Yes. Yep. Exactly.
So, all right. Well, it's great to have you here, and you'll
Good to be here.
You'll be on board here for another 3 years at least.
Yep. Absolutely. I hope to be back here again.
I say we'll bring you back.
That sounds
We'll
great.
bring you back soon. All right. Before we go quickly, we want to talk about a couple things coming up. As we mentioned, we're entering the holiday season here. We just posted that the holiday lighting contest is underway.
Yep.
They're taking entries until Friday, December 3rd at noon. People can register their homes either in the motion category or the still category. Members of the Arts Commission then go out and judge those homes, and they award cash prizes to the top spots in both categories.
Be great if people pay close attention to those homes that are registering. They're just beautiful.
Yeah.
Go out and just spend some time, and it's just the houses are just it's so nice.
Yeah.
It's a great evening just to go out and enjoy those houses.
Yes, driving around, checking them
Yeah.
out. So if you want to enter the holiday lighting contest coming up here in the next couple of weeks, we also have a brand new event that is coming up here in December. Tell us about that.
Oh, that's exciting. It's the first annual Coon Rapids Community Tree Lighting Festival. Very exciting. Anoka's been doing it for years, and now we have it in Coon Rapids, or we're going to have it in Coon Rapids, right next to the ice arena. That location was chosen because it's a nice public spot. You can be able to see this beautiful 35-foot tree from Coon Rapids Boulevard. Everything is going to start at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
At least, now some things might still be a little bit in the planning stages, but for right now, Santa's going to arrive on a fire truck at 4 o'clock.
Okay.
There'll be a place for Santa and a place for the kids to come visit Santa. There's going to be some fire pits.
Okay.
There is going to be cookies and hot chocolate and hot apple cider. And the Coon Rapids Choir is going to start singing at 5 o'clock. So it'll be beautiful music. And the actual lighting itself is going to occur at 6. And then things will just kind of wind down, and the event will be over at 6:30. There are also, we have to have a fundraising component with this as well, right? This is the time where we celebrate the season, but we also have to make sure that we use it as an opportunity to help people who are less fortunate. And the Coon Rapids High School has their own food shelf. And so will be collection there at the event for the Coon Rapids Food Shelf. Non-perishables and checks, cash, whatever people would like to or could donate. So that'll be great too, to be able to have that component in there. Okay. So the tree will remain lit and up until after the new year. Okay. So, if a person can't make it to the event, by all means, go out there and snap some pictures. And it'll be just beautiful.
Yeah. Well, it sounds cool that we're doing this.
Yeah. The
Do you
tree
have like a closing ceremony too, and where we like turn off the tree or anything like that? Like
I haven't heard of that.
Okay.
But it's a great idea for the next committee meeting.
Like put out the tree or something at the end?
Yes. The tree's coming from Bunker Hills.
Okay.
And there are trees where they kind of said, okay, this tree, it's probably time to move on. And so our forestry department's going to move it there. And when you put the tree in, it's kind of interesting. They're going to bore a hole in the ground, I think about 5 feet deep.
Yeah.
And they take off the bottom branches and put it right in.
Oh, interesting to see the process.
Yeah. The little tree stand probably wouldn't work on something like that. Not a 35-footer. So it'll be very nice.
Big tree.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure it's in the ground. Good.
Got to make sure that thing's in the ground.
Don't want it to blow over.
No, sir.
All right. Again, this first ever tree lighting, hoping that a lot of people in the community can join us. Well, will take place Saturday, December 11th. Like you said, about 4 o'clock. The tree lighting is actually at 6 p.m. So come on out. It's Boulevard Plaza, which is on the grounds of the Coon Rapids Ice Center.
Yes, and all the parking people need to come in off of Coon Rapids Boulevard.
Yep.
Not on the ice arena side.
But on 111th, right?
Yeah, but on 111th. Come in off of Mississippi Boulevard down 111th, or off of Coon Rapids Boulevard where the two intersect.
Yeah, there's no parking at the ice center, from what I understand.
Yeah, they have an event going on,
Yeah.
so everyone, if you're going to go to that event, you need to, go park on the other side, so we don't interfere with the event that the ice arena has going on.
All right, well, very cool, very exciting. We'll look forward to that event. That's all I have, unless there's anything else you want to add.
Nothing to add for now.
All right, well, we appreciate you coming in today to doing your first show with us. Thank you, Pat. Thank you at home for watching, and we'll see you back here again after our 2 meetings in December.